Hello, friends. Today we are reading The Winter Train by Susanna Isern. I wonder what a winter train is. I see a picture of it right here. It looks like there were animals inside. Let's find out what's happening. Dawn was breaking in the northern forest as the leaves fell from the trees. What season do you think it is? Maybe fall when the leaves fall? The animals wake up and start to pack their bags. Help! I can't find my toothbrush, said Wildcat wearily. There she is back there looking for her toothbrush. I need another suitcase. Can anyone lend me one? Said Deer, who was quite vain. She has a lot to pack right here. Don't forget to turn off the light, Rabbit. Last year it was on for more than 6 months. That sounds like what my mommy used to remind me to do when I left the house. Once their bags were packed, it was time to say goodbye. Don't worry about me, said White Owl. Someone's got to stay behind and look after the forest. Anyway, I love the cold. Winter goes by really fast. We'll be fine, said Frog to the fish, who were swimming sadly in the river. I'll miss you, Den, said Fox, waving goodbye to his home. There is Fox back there. All of the animals are getting ready for winter. It looks like the only ones who are staying are the owl and the frog and the fish. At midday, they all met at the foot of the oldest tree. That was where the train stopped. Every time we leave the northern forest, I feel homesick, sighed Partridge. And when we leave the southern forest, we feel exactly the same, said Hedgehog. Hang on, wait, don't leave me here, yelled Tortoise, who was the last to arrive as usual. Then suddenly, choo-choo, choo-choo, the winter train was arriving. As it did every year at this time, it would take the animals from the northern forest to the southern forest, where they could spend the cold months in a warmer climate. That means in a warmer place. Once they were aboard the train, the animals found their seats. I prefer to be by the window, otherwise I get all queasy, said Groundhog. I can trust you, can't I? Said Goat, as he sat down next to the wolf. Do you think he can trust the wolf? It'll be more comfortable in the coat closet, said Bat, who preferred dark places. There's the bat over there. They like to come out at nighttime, so that's why he wants to be in the dark. And so the winter train chugged toward the south. Although the journey would take a few hours, the animals were all in high spirits, chatting, singing, and playing cards. Looks like Groundhog is even knitting. Suddenly, Gannett jumped out of her seat. Oh no, she cried. We've forgotten Squirrel. We've got to go back and get her. But if we go back, we could get trapped in the snow, said Beaver, pointing to the dark clouds outside the window. We can't leave Squirrel behind. She can't stand the cold, said Ferret. Well, that's settled then. Let's go and find her, said all the animals together. So they're going to turn the winter train around to go back to the northern forest. The conductor brought the train to a halt and turned back. It got colder and colder, and the first snowflakes began to fall from the sky. When they reached the northern forest, the landscape was covered in a blanket of white. What's all over the ground? I see footprints in the snow. They're going to look for Squirrel. Gannett jumped off the train and bounced through the snow towards Squirrel's house. Squirrel's tree stood in a lonely spot. Gannett climbed up the trunk until she reached Squirrel's den. In one corner, her friend was huddled up in a ball. She was shivering so much that her teeth were rattling. Squirrel, come on, the train's waiting for us, said Gannett, waking her with a start. You came back to rescue me, said Squirrel, shuddering from the cold. Last night I was counting the stars until late, and when I woke up, the train had already left. Look at the stars she's counting in the sky. What shape do they make? I see a heart, I see some squares, and all together, it looks like a winter train. Gannett and Squirrel ran back to the train. On seeing that Squirrel was safe, all of the animals jumped up and down with joy and smothered her with hugs and kisses. The conductor started the engine once again. But it had snowed so much that the train tracks were completely covered. They were trapped, and the sun was setting behind the mountains, making it colder and colder. The animals began to lose hope. How can they get the train going again? After thinking for a while, Bear had a good idea. Let's try to clear the snow off the tracks. We can do it if we work together. And so the animals jumped down from the train and began to clear away the snow. Bear shoveled great clumps with his huge claws, while the smallest animals cleaned off the rest with their paws and their wings. Soon there was no snow left on the rails. The heat of the motors had melted the snow closest to the train already. Some of the animals also helped by pushing the train back. Then suddenly, choo choo, choo choo, the train started to move. Choo choo, choo choo. The animals quickly jumped back onto the train and returned to their seats. They'd done it! Night fell over the northern forest as the snow covered the trees. Squirrel was still curled up, trying to get warm under Eagle's huge wings. The animals smiled, satisfied. Some of them were holding paws, while others were fast asleep, snoring quietly. Meanwhile, the winter train chugged through the dark, dark night, through the freezing air, toward the promise of the southern forest, where it will be warm. The end, friends. I hope you enjoyed the story. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.